Hi, welcome to Future Stories, where we talk about missionary stories, and I have a very special guest on today. We got Nick.
What up? I don't have a quote this time.
Oh, well, this is a different podcast.
I know.
I just want to know, for this, it's just like your experience with the missionaries and your conversion story. Like, why did you decide to get baptized, and kind of the events essentially that led up to it. And I'm going to tell my side of the view, or my point of view, how it happened after you tell yours, but I'm excited to hear kind of what it was like.
My perspective of it?
Yeah, your conversion story of becoming a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And we're not like sponsored, or this isn't like by the church or anything, we're just members of that church. So anyways, go.
All right, so I guess we should start at the beginning. Way from the beginning, basically.
Did you knew Kevin before me, right? Is that who the first member you knew, or did you know even before Kevin? Did you know somebody?
I knew of Kevin, but I really didn't know anything about his religion until I met you guys, until you and your brother. You guys are the ones I'm pretty sure told me about it. I thought Kevin was just Kevin, but you know what we mean. Anyway, no, it was that initial conversation at the lunch table when I first started hearing about, you guys and all the things that you couldn't do, and sounded great, So I remember just obviously thinking at first it was some kind of cult or something, but.
Yeah, I was gonna say great. I'm surprised you weren't more like. I just feel like you're such a curious person. You were just like, I need to know more about, like, this sounds crazy to me.
Yeah. Yes, very much so. So that's kind of...
We probably should have given people background about yourself too. Like the principal knew your name. Like, I mean, not to say you were, but you were kind of a gangster. Or I guess
I don't say that. I was more like maybe a troublemaker, the funny guy.
Yeah.
I just do anything for a laugh, and sometimes wasn't always the nicest thing.
You came from, like, Chicago, right? Chicago.
I was born there, but I lived kind of, over in Illinois. And even in a small town, I lived in a small town. I was probably even worse there because I went from, a big city to a small town, So that was a shocker. And then going back to our high school, which was, I would say, normal size, medium size, not too big, not too small. But...
Well, of all our friends, it's the most surprising that you ended up being the one to be converted. Like... I don't know. I just was like, because, like I said, you came, you had all the, like, super baggy clothes. You would always try to get me to not go to class on time. You're just like, we were at lunch and you're like, I'm like, what time is it? I got to make sure I'm on class right on time. And you're like, oh, we're fine. We got plenty of time. You and Justin were messing with me. And then I look at the clock when we get back to the car, and it's like, we're late for class. That was the first time I was ever late to a class.
Yeah, you were freaking out, too. You were, like, running and stuff. We're just sitting back there walking real slow, I'm like, yeah, it's okay, man. You can be up to 30 minutes late. You're fine.
You were just way too chill about everything. It was great.
Yeah, well, and then even my senior year, I knew, I think you had to only be there 90% of the time or something, so I made sure I, went down to my last day. I even got called in, and they're like, you have 1 day left you can miss. I'm like, okay, sweet. But there was only like a week left in school, so it didn't really matter. So I took that day. So, no, yeah, that's, I was just whatever, just doing my own thing. Sometimes, I'm not going to lie, we would have a couple beers before going to gym class. Not the smartest idea. It was a terrible idea. Especially the one time we had to run a mile. That was...
I didn't even know that. That's
poorly planned out. A couple beers and a Big Mac, and then we had gym class right afterwards. So, as fast as of a runner I was behind that time.
Well, I do remember in you came to one of our. I don't know if it was the first party you came to at our house, but afterwards you said to me, you're like, "This is the first party I've been to without alcohol, and I actually had fun."
Yeah, I remember what that was. What were we doing? It was a lot of cool people were there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is true. First party, no alcohol. I was kind of like, felt lost at first, but it was a lot of fun, man. It was like, what we do, played games and stuff and all that. Yeah. So, I guess kind of moving on from there, I don't know, we had, probably talked a little bit off to the side and whatnot. And I just remember you guys inviting me to church. And I know I didn't go right away. I was like, not resistant, but I was like not jumping for it right away. But
and building up to that, sorry, just really quick, I just wanted to mention, like, in our law class, so we had 2 classes together. It was 3D animation and law. And in law class, I felt like you were more open to asking me questions about it because you weren't around your friend Justin. And when you were with Justin in 3D animation, you guys were always poking fun, like, oh, you can't do this. Oh, I can't believe it. But then when it was just you, you were like, oh man, I've got so many questions and stuff. And you just like had, one of those questions is really funny. Can I share it?
I remember you in 3D animation too. That was hilarious. We sat next to each other, and you were so serious about that class. You actually put like a lot of effort and work into that class, but you just didn't realize that our teacher was a complete drug addict and just didn't care anymore. And the only reason that he was able to work there is because they couldn't fire him because he got injured. So like he didn't really care, Jordan. That's why people took that class.
Maybe that's why you took that class.
Well, yeah, because literally for my final project, I just threw some photographs or some cutouts of Family Guy characters I liked, rotated them a couple times, and just kind of literally put that together in 5 minutes, and I got an A-, B+ on that. But in any case, we went off topic. But that was a fun class, by the way. That was so fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, just basically hanging out, and I know that you guys had invited me to church, and that was. I remember the day I finally decided to do it. I was actually really excited because you guys came and picked me up from the house. And I know we had like a 10 o'clock church, if I remember correctly, or maybe it was an 8 a.m. I don't remember, but it was early. And the first time I was standing out on the sidewalk, just so excited, I was like, this is gonna be kind of cool to go check this place out. I've never been to a Mormon church before. I wonder what this is all like. And I just remember you telling me it was like 3 hours long, and that was my hesitation at first. I'm like, 3 hours? I used to get really antsy just going to, a church for 30, 45 minutes just for regular mass or something like that. I'm like, man, after 10, I'm ready to go, let's go. And then as I got a little older, I was completely resistant just to going, but I don't think anything to do with, beliefs or anything. I just had a little more freedom, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to go to church if I don't have to, so I didn't. But I just remember never being excited to go to like a church before, but this time I really was, even though it was 3 hours. And I remember getting in there and just seeing all the people and meeting a lot of people at the first day. It was so much fun just to kind of meet these people that I was so curious about, because I'm like, I didn't quite understand almost anything you guys were telling me, but to see so many other people that had this same belief, I thought, maybe you guys were really rare. I didn't know what I was going to walk into, and then I see all these people here, and I'm like, wow, maybe it is a call. No, I'm just kidding. And then actually sitting there for going through the main, the first hour, and then getting into the groups and all that, I thought that was a really cool experience, and all the things that we learned. And that's kind of what triggered me to keep going back. And then meeting with the missionaries, the first time. And that was always such a chill experience. It's like when you want to go see, like, sometimes you got to go places to see people, but they always just kind of came to you. I just remember sitting out on the porch and just hanging out, a beautiful, nice day. And the missionaries just sitting there and just having a discussion. It was so, casual, so, just kind of easy flowing. And that's where I became even more interested in what, was going on here. I'm like, you guys are going out talking to all these people. I'm like, this sounds so fun. You do this for 2 years. But I really wanted to kind of see what they did. So I remember going out a couple times with the missionaries. I'm like, take me with you. I mean, let's go knock on some doors, man. Because I was all jacked about that. And we would talk to some people, and, they told me I was investigating and things like that. It was a really cool experience. So I just had all these great experiences, and even meeting your family. And, I remember just all of us sitting in your living room in a circle. Grandma's there, Ma's there, all your brothers and sisters are there. It's just this big circle, The missionaries would come all the time, the bishop. So it was really a cool experience in being able to ask questions. And I always came armed with a bunch of questions. I remember, why can't you this? Why this? Why this? Why that? And as I started to get some of those answers, it started to make a little more sense. So I don't know, I just kind of got more dedicated, I guess, to it. And I felt like to be fully dedicated, I had to start trying to do, some of the things that you guys did or didn't do, So started to cut out things. And I think the alcohol was, because we were partying a little bit. I was partying a little bit in high school and even, afterwards. But that wasn't too difficult at that point to walk away from, because I wasn't like a big drinker, And then I think the swearing too, I think that came next. And I remember getting really good at that, catching myself and grabbing it. I'm gonna take that back, So just being around good influences really kind of helped me, and praying at night and doing all that stuff. So
yeah, I remember the graduation. You were like, "This is my last day to drink coffee," and you had to drink a coffee right before you got baptized.
Yeah,
That was so funny.
And it was a really cool event because we had some family that came, and the actual baptism itself. I guess why did I decide to do it? That's I don't know. I just felt it. I guess I felt that was the right thing to do, and even though to this day, I struggle with most things and maybe not as active as I once was. And even then, didn't know if I would make it or not. I knew that it would be tough. I knew that'd be very tough, especially because most of my family didn't understand. Some of my closest family did understand. Maybe thought it was like, what is he doing? But they at least understood that I was trying to go on another path. But I think a lot of people, though, expected me to fail and knew this. And like, you're not going to stick to this, So it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So that was the tough part. So I knew that even going into it, I'm like, what, I'm going to roll the dice here. I'm going to do this because I feel like it's the right thing to do. I'm happier than I've ever been. I've come this far. I might as well go the rest of the way. So that's why I decided to do it. But I was still scared that I wouldn't be able to live up, to it. But
well, I'm telling you right now, Nick. I mean, you know me well. Like I struggle with the same feelings of never feeling like I'm, adequate enough or to make it. So I think everybody in a way struggles with different things. So you are just like everyone. I mean, we all struggle with things. So
yeah, it's true. We do. And I felt really good about myself being able to, I feel, even go as long as I did after you had gone on your mission, and then your family kind of moved another place, and then Kevin was just Kevin again. Hey, Kevin. But, I was like, a few months, almost a year that I was like really dedicated to it. And then I think it was just small little things kind of added up after a while. But the fact is that was 11 or 12 years ago that I have. And I have to say that multiple times I have kind of re-entered it, tried again, failed, came back out for a little while, said, okay, what do I need to do differently next time? And sometimes it's long gaps, couple years, and actually this most recent gap has been, a few years since you left, so I think that, not even after you, because I went a couple times after. I think it was the pandemic too, that really was, I was getting ready to go back, and then the pandemic hit, and then I was like, well, I guess I'm not doing this, So, but the point is that I keep trying to get, back into it. And I knew that even going back from the beginning when I first was approaching the church and had gotten into it, I knew one thing was for sure, that I would always keep trying, that this was my church now, that this was the truth to me, and that even if I fail at this, I know I'll keep trying, because this is the truth. And sometimes I just lose that fact. I lose that feeling. I lose that connection. And when you lose it, it can sometimes go away for quite some time. And I know a lot of other people that were part of the church that are no longer active, had active family members, those that were converts that are no longer active. And even talking to them, they I think still believe in the church, but they never say if they're going to go back to it. I always ask them, you ever plan on getting back to it? Most of the time is, I don't think so, or probably not, or no time soon. So I feel like, for me, that's a big thing that I know deep down that I'll be able to, that I'll keep doing this and keep going at it. And I know that's something that's my strength in this, that's why I believe it, because I'm not, even though I've failed so many times at it, I still believe that I can do it, and I will. It just may take some time. You never know. It might be the next go around. It's coming soon.
Nick, oh my gosh, I loved having you on. Yeah, this is just a short thing that we're doing, but it's just fun to hear your perspective on it too, and where you're at. I appreciate you sharing your story.
Yeah, awesome. And you know what? What's the thing with the green tea? I'm just that I have you on the line. Why can't we drink green tea? Because I love green tea. Is it? That's the other thing that's going to be tough, because a little bit of green tea and some honey that so good for you. And it's not because of the caffeine. It's like they let you it's okay to drink a Cola.
Well, doesn't it have like taurine or something? I forget what it's called. Isn't there like something in it? I don't know. And well, I mean, mainly it's a commandment, so that's you obey the commandments. God makes them. I mean, for some reasons we don't understand. Like he made what commandments did he pass when he was like don't smoke or something, and then they didn't even come out with things about tobacco until way later, or spitting tobacco. That's what it was. Like Joseph Smith said, don't do that. I mean, obviously people say it's for reasons of his wife didn't want to clean up because people were spitting tobacco all over the church and they were cleaning it up. Like, I mean, he got a revelation that said to stop doing it, so they stopped doing it, and now years later they found out that it causes all sorts of terrible things to your body. So I don't know. I'm not saying they're going to all of a sudden come out with something that says, I mean, maybe they'll come out with something that says tea's bad for you, but I mean, I always feel like, especially in the health industry, it's like one day, they're like, oh, this thing is going to help you and with, I don't know, some part of your health, and then a year later they're like, don't drink that thing that's causing cancer. Like, I don't know.
That's why you go with the organic tea.
Oh, is that why you go with the organic stuff?
That's why I go with the organic tea. No pesticides. I don't get cheap tea. Okay, it's good tea, good clean herbal green tea, not herbal, just green tea.
Well, aren't there certain teas that, because like on my mission there were certain ones that we could drink that were, they told me there's a name for them.
They're just herbal teas.
Yeah, herbal, like...
They're just spices and all kinds of other stuff they just throw into a bag.
But there's like a key element in there that you're like not supposed to drink or something. I don't know.
Organic tea.
Nick, it was a treat having you on. I don't have anything other to say. I mean, I was kind of jumping in here and there, throwing out my thoughts. I was going to save my idea at the end, but from my point of view, it's just like, I mean, there's a few moments I felt terrible for sleeping when the missionaries were over. My dad loves to bring that up, but it was so much fun being a part of that experience and being there to kind of share. I don't have I feel like the best insights and all the answers, but I mean, I think that's the fun part about the church is you can have questions and you can seek out those answers. And it's so funny because I swear I told you like the answer to one of your questions, and then you're like, I don't really know if I feel good about that answer. And then the missionaries literally say the exact same thing, and you're like, oh, I understand now. And I'm like, what the crap? Like, did I not say it right or something?
That's a classic Jordan thing. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, yeah.
You say no, it's not that you don't say things right. Sometimes you just
maybe I'm not saying it with
you jump
the spirit.
around a little bit. Yeah, that's true. Maybe not saying with the spirit.
Oh, okay. Maybe the missionaries are just carrying that. They do though. I mean, they're set apart.
Well, when you're on your mission, though, you're on your game at that point. To the awesome missionaries that were in the beginning, the start of my journey. Love you guys. Take care.
And this is Futuro Stories. What's your mission story? Write us at futuromovies@gmail.com. Tell us your conversion story.
Conversion.
Thanks for joining us, Nick.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Peace.